against all the good, against all that. This existence has to go, and the cycle has to go on. That cycle is made up of half positive, half negative. Everything has to go on. And everything is valid and justified if you see it from the cosmic perspective, if you see it from the universal perspective. All those bad children still deserve one chance to be human. Jai Shivai. Today we are going to talk about Tantra. A lot of people have so many questions about why such ritualistic practices exist. For example, sacrificing an animal, or using some gross items like meat or wine, or some alcohol for the practices. And how come, how can somebody reach a spiritual state using all those kind of things? So, which are mostly, those practices mostly are termed as left-hand tantra. So, in Hindi we call it Vamachar. Okay. So, Vam Margi, Vamachar, Vam means left. So, all the left-hand practices uses 5 different kinds of gross substances. One is, alcohol, meat, and so on. And the sacrifices and all the ritualistic practices, lot of ritualistic practices are there. And right-hand tantra, in comparison, seems like less invasive, you can say, or you can say it seems more like, easy, white, polished kind of path. So why some people follow the left-hand practices while some people follow the right-hand practices? Well, the difference is between you and yours. That's the smallest answer that there could be. Till the time your life, your goal, and the intention in you, the desires that you have, if it is all about yours, my body, my this, my that, my relationship, my feelings, the identity as me, till the time it is all about your physical and gross existence, then one follows the left-hand path of Tantra. So all those ritualistic practices that you see, all the animal sacrifice and stuff that you see, they are the people, those who are trying to change what is yours, what is theirs. Okay, so they might be trying to change their life in a crudest possible way, right? And they might be trying to change a lot of things. They are trying to gain some powers, some supernatural powers, or they are trying to gather wisdom of other worlds. They are trying to do a lot of things, changing a lot of things in their life through this manner, through these beings. So in other words, we call it, you can see it in this way, that using your physical body to get something done versus using your etheric body to get something done, then using your mental body to get something done, or to change your life, change your destiny, achieve your goals, achieve your purpose, whatever it could be, but using the gross part of you, the material existence of yours. using that to achieve a purpose, to achieve a goal in life. So that becomes the left hand tantra. While right hand tantra, first of all, is a very time consuming. It's hard. It's not easy. It may take you hardly an hour to buy an animal or a bird or whatever you want to buy and sacrifice it. It may take a little bit of money, that's it, right? That is all that it needs to sacrifice. But to sacrifice your own identity, which is a subtle aspect of you, which is a subtle part of you, subtle part of your own existence, to sacrifice that, to delete that, to annihilate that, may take months or years at a time. And you may have somewhere around 23, 25, or maybe 50, who knows. I counted mine, you can count yours. However many identities you may have, right? You have to kill that many identities within. You have to understand learn the lessons and let those identities go away. So it's easier to sacrifice an animal. It takes less time, but it's so difficult. If you follow the right hand tantra, you are using your subtle existence. So then you are annihilating your own, killing your own identity per se. I'm just giving you one small example to compare both sides. Okay. So it will take a lot of time, first of all. It's the hardest thing to do, to detach yourself from that identity, to understand all kinds of compulsions related to that identity, to understand all kinds of aversions related to that identity, and ultimately learn all lessons and finally leave it, kill it, right? It may take a lot of time, long time. But the achievement that you will have will be permanent and long-lasting. You will be taking the results of the right hand tantra to your another life. That too in a very from a very evolutionary perspective. In other words, whatever you will achieve by following the right hand tantra is about you, not about yours. It's about you. You as an Atma, you as a soul. That's what right hand tantra is all about. It is inclusive in nature. Now, inclusion here doesn't mean what was being done on the left hand side tantra. Inclusion doesn't mean, but even if it is happening, you have got no problem with that. You're not concerned about it, right? There are temples to visit and there are bars and pubs to visit. Both can exist, and that should be your existence. That should be your understanding while you are on the right hand tantra. That left can exist. Just like white energy, pure energy exists. Exactly in the similar way, very evil energy also exists. Dark energy also exists in this universe. So right hand tantra is about expanding your understanding, making your understanding all inclusive. It is all about opening your heart chakra, living from the heart chakra. Most difficult thing to do for a lot of people, right? So in right hand tantra, whatever we do, all the kriya, sadhana practices that we do, they are performed using the subtle part of our existence. They are not performed using external items, external to the body. For example, alcohol or, animal, bird, or whatever you are trying to sacrifice, or whatever kind of ritualistic things that you are trying to do. So right hand tantra is all about using the subtle dimension of your own existence to achieve anything that is the true purpose of you, and expanding your understanding in such a way that left can exist, dark energy to exist. When God, Paramatma, has allowed everything in this entire cosmos to exist, then who are you to question it? Some people have such dark mental psychological patterns that they end up committing crime. You think Paramatma or the God wasn't aware that such people will be born as humans and in the human body, will end up committing crime after crime after crime, and will die before they turn 30, 40, they may die, or that their rest of their life will be spent in a prison, or that a lot of people will suffer because of that one person who's being born with such psychological patterns. Do you think Paramatma wasn't aware? Why did he give birth? Because a balance need to exist. Against all the good, against all that, this existence has to go, and the cycle has to go on. That cycle is made up of half positive, half negative. Everything has to go on. And everything is valid and justified if you see it from the cosmic perspective, if you see it from the universal perspective. All those bad children still deserve one chance to be human. Just so that somewhere, not only that they can spend their vrittis and spend their karma, also somewhere something they might do good. Even if it was for just one person, for just one instance, one moment, at least they will do some good to their own kith and kin, to their own family members, somebody. So when God has given the right to exist to all kinds of beasts, to all kinds of, people, to all kinds of humans to exist, then who are you and me to question it? Right? So that's the inclusive, all-inclusive understanding of right-hand Tantra. The right-hand Tantra includes less rituals which are outside the body, more rituals and sadhanas and practices which are inside you, which may take place in your chit, in the warehouse of your psychological patterns. It may take place there. It may take place at the level of your awareness, your consciousness. It may take place at the level of your subtle energy body, your etheric body. It may take place in other different parts of your subtle existence. It may take place in Vijnanamaya Kosh, the special wisdom body that you have. A lot of people call it intuition body, but intuition is just one small function of that entire special wisdom body that you have got. So, a lot of practices may take place at that level. A lot of practices may take place at the physical level, only to sit in particular asana or to hold a particular mudra. So right hand Tantra is also about Shakti, all kinds of Shaktis, all kinds of Devi, Devata, Shakti, all kinds of powers, about Durga, about Kali, about Parvati, about all kinds of Mata, feminine energy, all types of masculine energy. It is about that. And you worship them using your subtle existence, not an animal's existence. You're not using anything else's, any external product or any external thing outside your body. Or even if you are using it, it involves less of prana, less of life. You're not sacrificing anything. You may have rice, you may be using rice, you may be using some ritualistic stuff you might be doing, some puja, some sadhana of a Shakti which requires, a particular kind of a flower or a fruit or something like that. But it is still less prana, less of a life in comparison to a living, breathing animal or a bird. So, right hand tantra is easier to follow for a lot of people because you are living in a family setup. You don't want to kill animals in your house. You don't want to convert your house into a butcher house, right? A lot of people may be eating non-veg, but they will not bring a live animal at home or a bird at home or a chicken at home and try to kill it and then try to cook it. Nobody does that. Rarely people living on farm and villages and all that, they might do that, but not the people living in the cities. So first of all, following the right hand tantra, going through that path is easier for city people. And you can still live in the family setup when you are following that kind of a path. But if you are following a left hand path, first of all, you need a guru of that kind. Guru who comes from that side. You should be having that kind of a guru, and then most probably you should be living with the guru or living near to the guru. Try not to follow that path by living in the family setup. Why? Those things may have negative impact on your family members. If you are unmarried, just have a room on your own. Don't try to live with a room partner or flatmate or somebody else in the house. Be alone, and then you can follow that path. And then whatever may be your purpose through that. Even people who start because of the worldly goals or some supernatural goals, they may start on that, but there is at least some chance that they might become spiritual. They might turn inward and will stop that and start using their subtle existence to do things. And their mind may expand a lot. A lot of enlightened beings, those who attain Samadhi, they still consecrate Shivaling, they still consecrate a Devi, they still may consecrate some other deity, they may install some deities here and there. They may do a lot of such kind of work. Why? Just to make people turn inward, just to change people's perception. Now, another way is to give them initiation. But how many, and that's like through Guru's subtle existence, your own subtle existence is being directly influenced. But are you ready? Initiation can be given to anybody and everybody. But is that initiation going to bear fruits right away? No, it's not possible in a lot of people. Most of the people, I would say. Most of the time, initiation remains as a seed in people for lifetimes to come. Not just this one lifetime. For many lifetimes to come, that seed may not find the ground to become a tree, to bear flowers or do anything. To bear results. That might be a possibility. So changing somebody's existence through the subtle part of the guru and impacting the subtle part of the disciple or the student is not that straightforward and may not bear immediate results. But if we install some deity, some physical powerful energy thing, that impacts not just the subtle aspect of a disciple or a devotee or a student, but also their pranmaya kosh, their etheric body, and their physical body. And most importantly, their psychological body. The impact that the psychological body of the student or the disciple or the devotee or the visitor or the person will have from that deity. It could be a big Shivalinga, it could be a big Devi, very powerfully installed, consecrated Devi statue, Devi Murti. It could be, some other Shakti or Devi Devata's installation, some consecrated. So if anything can impact and block their mental psychological pattern through the eyes are very physical, right? They can only see physical. So the impact has to be physical and psychological in lot of people. Why? They don't know what is subtle and they have not experienced. Their own subtle existence is not in their direct experience yet. So what change has happened at that level, they will not know. And hence, they cannot provide the grounds to the initiation that may happen, to any other way the Guru may transfer Shakti to them. So that those things may not work. But installing an external thing may work. So never think that something is too much right or wrong. A lot of things exist in this world, and so be it. Lot of Vamacharis or, left-hand Tantra people exist, and they are doing what they are doing. You don't need to get into everybody's business. You may not have turned yourself into that cadre of a yogi where you do not need anything external, where you have stopped using your own physical body, your etheric body, and your mental emotional body. So till the time you have quit using, stop using these three gross dimensions of your own existence, you have no right to have opinions about left-hand Tantra people. You don't need to meddle with their business. You don't need to worry about why it exists and these people are good or bad. Stop all that. If you are that focused about the right-hand Tantra, have the courage to accept all the dark that is there, to accept everything there is. Everything that God or universe or Paramatma or Shakti has allowed to exist here. And just go on doing your practices, your spiritual practices. So that is one most important thing to understand when it comes to right-hand Tantra. That everything can exist, has the right to exist, and all the dark, all the white, light can exist together. And the entire existence, including yours, is all inclusive. There is no exclusion in it. I have seen a lot of people walking right-hand Tantra path and thinking of themselves as some highly mighty beings in comparison, and comparing themselves to people who follow left-hand Tantra, and in a way sort of seeing them as lesser beings, mere mortals, and messed up beings who will do this, who will do that. Who are you to have that kind of a perspective? And if you are walking a right-hand Tantra and having that kind of a perspective about anything that exists on the other side of the spectrum, then first of all, you are not even a right-hand Tantra follower. Sorry. Till the time you have understood, the first basic principle is that it's all inclusive. Light and dark, left and right. It's all part of whole. That one big whole. It's part of that full thing. So that integration hasn't happened yet within you. So then you may be calling yourself a right-hand Tantra path. Actually, you are neither left nor right. You do not exist any side. You haven't understood the basic principles, foundational principles of any Tantra at all. So just think about it. Whether it is left-hand Tantra or whether it is right-hand Tantra or whether it is just Tantra, it's all up to you, all about your perception. But just understand the basic foundational principles first. Regardless of whether you use your physical body to journey to go on your spiritual journey, or you use your etheric body, or you use your mental emotional body, or you go beyond and use even your special body, your Vijnanamay Kosh, or you use your Anandamay Kosh. So at which level you are, people at different level will end up using different dimensions of their own existence. In whichever dimension their consciousness is strongest, they will end up using that dimension to pursue their spiritual goals or worldly goals. Doesn't matter. Okay? So just analyze yourself. Don't analyze people, other people. Don't try to create opinions, perspective about everything else outside. Just go within, reflect. Namaste. Jai Shiva.